Welcome back, folks, to Detective D, the Sherlock Holmes of the Orient. So, last episode, we solved successfully the Lover's Paradox murder, which was most unfortunate. The Korean ambassador was killed by the maidservant, which was a damn shame, but you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. We are taking up our new post now in the city of Chang'an as the magistrate, and as the investigating magistrate, and we are about to meet the Empress Wu. So, before that though, we just had a strange dream last night. A strange dream about being on a boat and crossing across to a pagoda and seeing a deer and beating a drum. So let's just add it to our diary. Can't shake the feeling that something bad is about to happen. Okay, well... yeah, I guess we've done that then, haven't we? Okay. Alright, so let's head out then. Let's go meet the Empress. Okay, that's a plant. It's a bluebird. It's a nice pixelated background. Chang'an, Tang Dynasty, China. Okay. A rather frail looking plant to place by itself in such a large courtyard. Okay, I mean... and the sign, the plaque? The Justice Department. This is our area. This is probably going to be our office. A hammer? That's going to be relevant, right? A sturdy looking hammer. I may have use for this. Yeah, that means we will have use for it. Let's take it. And up here, scaffolding. Looks like some repairs are being done to the roof. And a bucket. We can't do anything with that there. Right, let's head into the Justice Department. Or rather, let's head out. Okay, so we are in the Justice Department. We want to be going to the Imperial Palace. Nowhere else that we can go. Okay, so yeah, let's head over there. We found and captured the rebels responsible for the attack on the Royal Temple. Good. By attacking the sacred temple, they are trying to undermine the symbol of my heavenly mandate. No quarter is to be given to these agitators. Do you think General Zhang may have something to do with the recent disturbances? Zhang is a hard-line traditionalist whose opposition against me is as clear as a stroke in a barren field. But I know how to catch snakes like him. Where is Renjie? He's here, Your Majesty, waiting in the antechamber. Are you sure he can be trusted? That is what I intend to find out. Bring him in. Okay, so... are we about to get embroiled in court politics? I mean, let's find out. The Empress will see you now. Should we talk to this? At once beautiful and intimidating, she has an air of confidence and that is undeniable. So who is this here? Yao Mei. Should we talk to her? I am Commander Yao Mei, Captain of Her Majesty's Imperial Guard. Your questions for me can wait. You should speak to Her Majesty first. Okay. Let's not keep the Empress waiting. I mean, that could be bad form. Welcome, dear Renjie. I have been looking forward to meeting you. I'm flattered. I'm honored. I'm flattered. I'm honored. This humble servant is honored by Your Majesty's reception. I trust you had a chance to rest last night? I understand you left Panglai 3 days ago to undertake the long journey to the capital. Yes, but the road was kind to us. My caravan arrived at the Justice Department just before nightfall. I had sufficient time to settle in for a night's rest. Good. The winds of change are blowing. There is no time to waste. Tell me, Magistrate D, do you know why I called you at this particular moment? I'm not sure I follow. I thought perhaps you may be wondering why it took so long for your promotion to the capital to be confirmed. After all, that was my husband's wish before his untimely death. When he heard of how you solved the Korean ambassador's murder and rescued his border treaty, he made it very clear he wanted you to serve by his side. If he were still with us today, you would have been reassigned to Chang'an long ago. I humbly serve the Imperial Court where I am needed, Your Majesty. I mourned Emperor Gaozong's death. but it is not my nature to question my position or rank. It is a rare thing to witness true modesty. The truth is my transition to power was not without some interference. The same kind of meddling, and disapproval I've encountered all my life. But I will not tolerate folly for the sake of facile traditionalism. I hope I can count on your loyalty just as my husband did. My loyalty is to the law, and I will serve it to the best of my ability, so long as your majesty permits it. I see. And what if the law is unjust? Unjust men create unjust law? The law does not stand still? Oh, okay. Okay, this is gonna determine some stuff, right? So, I mean, are we basically saying here that the law is, like, implacable and can never be changed? Because it's not just unjust men that create unjust laws. Alright, let's go with the first one. Unjust men create unjust laws. In the force of injustice, I believe we must stand up to it. Indeed, men can be fools misguided by power and greed. Such vipers are around every corner. In fact, the man that you are replacing, a man whose name deserves no mention in these hallowed halls, was such an offender. A horrid man who routinely abused his power. His worst sin of all was that of incompetence. But enough about the past. You are here because I need someone to succeed where he failed. Dear Renjie, I hereby name you the new investigating magistrate of Chang'an. What say you? It will be my privilege. It will be my privilege, yeah. It will be my privilege to serve the people of Chang'an in the name of the Dragon Throne. Then it is done. Rise now as my chief agent of justice. You are now the guardian of Chang'an, the jewel of China, finest city in the world. But I'm afraid not all is right in our shining capital. I fear a sickness of doubt and fear is spreading across our streets and homes. The hearts and minds of men are fragile. As the first woman to hold the mandate of heaven, I cannot allow my reign to be crippled by this infection. I must show the naysayers that I can be as strong as any man, even if I must rule with an iron fist. The sickness must be stamped out. Law and order must be swift and unyielding. We must exercise caution. We must govern virtuously. I mean, yeah. We must govern virtuously if the hearts and minds of your majesty speaks of can be redeemed, or indeed cured. I fear force alone is not the answer. How pragmatic of you, Magistrate D. I suspect even my husband may have underestimated your gift for counsel. Your notions of virtue and balance are sobering, but we are nonetheless responsible for cleaning the streets of the miscreants who would dare undermine our empire. And that is exactly what we shall do. I am at your majesty's command. Before I relieved him of his duties, your predecessor was working on a case that, shall we say, overwhelmed his limited intellect. A young woman by the name of Shi Linfei was viciously murdered in her own home 9 days ago. A short inquiry ended with the poor woman's blind father detained and charged for the crime. But I sense a grave injustice is being done. Your immediate task is to reopen this investigation and find out the truth behind this heinous crime. And if what you should discover should exonerate her father, I would like you to report back to me directly. Yes, of course. Your first lieutenant of the Justice Department can appraise you of further details, but you may ask me any questions you like. Okay, well, first of all, let's offer our condolences for her husband. I wish to offer my condolences for the passing of Emperor Gaozhong. Although I never had the privilege of meeting him, I was an admirer of his reforms. Your sentiment is appreciated, Magistrate D. My husband was indeed a great man. He led our country onto the world stage, and now it is up to us to fulfill that destiny. Now is the time to look to the future. What is your interest in this case? Surely only weeks after your enthronement ceremony, police matters are the least of your concerns. On the contrary, there is no greater threat to the Empire than the spread of fear and hatred from within. Without law and order, this house of cards is but a tremor ray from crumbling. Whatever the cost, I will see to it that these seeking to disturb the peace shall never find any of their own. Okay. About the victim? Shi Linfei met a horrible end. At first strangled to death, her misery did not stop there. After taking her life, the murderer went on to mutilate her, carving out her heart and taking it from her lifeless body. I ask you, what manner of barbarism is that? Such hatred would suggest the killer may have known the victim. Perhaps someone close, someone seeking revenge? Whatever the motive, I want to see this wretched killer captured and punished for what he has done. I will not stand for such depravity. The whole of the country watches my every move. I will not have my mandate tarnished by a deviant. And about the accused? Your predecessor believed that the victim's father, Shu Dan, came to resent his daughter for abandoning him for several years. She eventually returned, but by then his heart had soured and filled with hate, igniting this violent outburst. But your Majesty does not believe this theory? Not for a second. Setting aside the fact that the father is an old, blind man, only a fool could theorize that a woman so obviously devoted to her father could deserve such retribution. Even during all those years away from his side, she made sure to send money for his care. Besides, your predecessor would have sooner forced a square pig into a round hole than do any real police work. I see, okay. I've told you everything I know. As for what is still unknown, I expect you to uncover it and return the favor. You may ask the Commander Yao, if you need any additional assistance. See, she is my most trusted officer. Thank you, Your Majesty. Okay. Well, yeah, let's go do some investigating. So, why would this old blind man murder his daughter? I didn't get a chance to introduce myself before. My name is Renjie. I know who you are. Yes, of course. You must be head of Her Majesty's secret force. I am no mere security personnel. I am Yao Mei, commander of the Imperial Guard. Yeah, that was a compliment. I meant that as a compliment. I see in your posture, you carry yourself with the poise of a highly skilled martial artist. I dabbled in the martial arts myself when I was young, though I discovered early that I had no gift for it. But you, on the other hand, must be a very talented and brave warrior. Why else would the Empress put you in charge of her personal safety? I suggest you tread carefully, Renjie. Her Majesty wishes to give you an opportunity to show your allegiance, but I am the one you will have to face if that trust is betrayed. I applaud your diligence, Commander Yao, but my intentions are pure. I'll be the judge of that. What do you want? Yeah, tell me about yourself. I have no time for small talk. If you wish to know more about me, I suggest you seek out the answers for yourself, detective. Okay. Someone's a bit surly, huh? What about the Empress? Her Majesty is a strong and fearless leader. What she has endured and overcome is a shining example for all of us. But I would think a detective of your stature could easily detect such qualities. Okay, so she's not giving us much. What can you tell us about the Shu Linfei case? Only that the man who did it deserves to die 1,000 deaths. The man? You believe the father is guilty? No, that is not what I said. I simply meant I've never known a woman capable of such brutality. Have you? No, I can't say that I have. Okay, I mean that's... Listen carefully, Renjie. I do not trust you. I have no reason to trust you. I do not know you, and from my perspective, nor does the Empress. What you do from this moment forward will signal to me whether you truly are a trustworthy ally or an adversary to be dealt with. Your fierce loyalty is commendable, Commander Yao. With time, I do hope I can gain your trust. Okay, well... I guess that's all we're gonna get from her. Yeah, let's head back to the Justice Department. And... no. This way. And see what other intel we can get. No, these are my private quarters. Do we have... We want to go to the other section, don't we? Can we go around here? Yeah, to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Magistrate D, you're back. I'm your first lieutenant, Ma Dawei, We spoke briefly last night when you arrived. I take it you just returned from your visit with the Empress? How did it go? Meetings like that make me so nervous. I just start babbling, you know? One moment I'm all quiet and the next I'm going on and on about heaven knows what. I'm doing it right now, aren't I? I'll shut up now, sir. You don't have to be nervous around me, Ma. I was nervous. I was at ease with the Empress. I was at ease with Her Majesty's presence. In fact, the meeting was very productive. It seems we have a lot of work ahead of us. Certainly, sir. I'm here to help in any way I can. Good, let's begin with the Shu Lin Fei case. I need to know all the details and see the evidence collected so far. Ah, yes, of course. I was hoping we could get another crack at that case, but I'm afraid there isn't much to look at, sir. Everything we have is inside that evidence box. I've laid it out on the desk behind me. It's a shame, really, but Magistrate Liu, he wasn't one for paperwork. Liu? Do you mean Liu Zetian? He was the previous magistrate? That's right, sir. You know him? Yes. He was a classmate during my time at the Imperial Academy. Sadly, he was the kind of person who enjoyed preying on the less privileged. A bully through and through. But owing to his father's position as a powerful minister, Zeni's misconduct was routinely ignored. Worse still, he was even granted a few shortcuts along the way. But that was many years ago. I haven't seen him since then. I hate to speak out of turn, but I feel I must. You see, I believe Magistrate Liu was wrong to accuse the victim's father. I believe Zhu Dan is innocent. You needn't worry about speaking your mind. What do you think? Why do you think he is innocent? Well, it's the way she was killed. It almost seems wicked. Like an evil soul out for blood. Even from my limited contact with him, I just don't think Zhu Dan is capable of that. In that case, you'll be relieved to hear that the Empress herself has requested that we reopen the investigation. Really? That's great news, sir. Say the word and I'm at your disposal, whatever you need. Okay, so tell me about yourself. Everyone calls me Lucky Ma around here, sir. The nickname stuck after I won a few card games with the fellows around the office. In any case, I've been at the station for 2 years now. Before that, I was a police constable in my hometown of Shanwei in Liangnan province. For most of my life, I lived in a small fishing village, so when my transfer request was approved and I was promoted to work here in the capital, it was a dream come true. Your family must have been proud. Yes, my parents were very happy. And my wife? You should have seen her, sir. When I told her we would be living in Chang'an, she nearly shattered my eardrums from sheer excitement. Okay, yeah, let's get back to work. About the crime. Of course, what would you like to know? About the victim. What can you tell me about her? We know that she was 21 years old, but not much else. She was a complete loner, with no ties to anyone or anything except her father. Even her neighbors knew nothing about her, save for the fact that she kept to herself. Did her father have anything to add? He maintains that since her return 2 months ago, she's been his sole caregiver, spending most of her days at home. He also said that several times a week she would visit temples here in the city. That gave me the idea to visit a few of them to ask about her. But the monks who remembered her all said the same thing. She would pray for hours at a time, often mumbling words that no one else could hear or understand. You said she returned 2 months ago. Where was she before that? All we know is that for 5 years she worked as a maidservant for a wealthy family living outside the city. During that time she sent money back to her father through a messenger, but she never visited him herself. We're holding him in the lockup if you have to interrogate him. Oh yeah, we will be. About the father? What can you tell us? Zhu Dan served in the Imperial Army for many years until his wife died in a fire. That same incident cost him his eyesight, but despite that, he managed to take care of his young daughter for many years. But as he grew older and weaker, he became the one who needed care. Why did Liu accuse him? Magistrate Liu believed that Zhu Dan felt betrayed when his daughter went away. He alleged that Zhu Dan had gone mad and killed her in a fit of rage. Did Zhu Dan confess? No, sir. The very opposite, in fact. He strongly denies any wrongdoing. Yeah, I think we can expect that. So, Magistrate Liu was probably just a wee bit insouciant and accused an innocent man, but we've got to figure that out. What can you tell us about the cause of death? Strangulation, sir, but she was also mutilated posthumously. The The killer cut her open and took her heart. It turns my stomach just thinking about it. You want to speak to the coroner, Mr. Yao? He'll be able to tell you more about it. Okay, and do we have any evidence? We collected 3 pieces of evidence from the crime scene. The first is a broken walking stick, which belongs to the father. The second is a rose we found next to the victim's body, clearly left by the killer by the looks of it. And the third is a life-size sketch I made of a bloody footprint we found inside the house. A sketch? Yes, sir. I've always had an affinity for drawing, so I've tried to put it to good use from time to time. My wife even thinks I could have made a life as a painter, though I'm pretty sure she's just teasing. Okay, so who reported the crime? A night watchman was making his rounds in the neighborhood when he saw Zhu Dan running out of his house in a mad panic. Zhu Dan was calling out for help and screaming his daughter's name all at once. After the watchman peered into the house and saw the carnage that had been done, he came directly here to report the crime. Okay. Let's find out a bit more about Liu Zetian. I gather you must have worked with Liu Zetian for a period. What can you tell us about him? I suppose. No need to be timid, Lieutenant. It is not gossip I'm after. I'm only interested in how he performed his duties as an officer of the court. Well, to put it bluntly, Magistrate Liu did not seem to care much about his duties at all, sir. He seemed more interested in his reputation than maintaining law and order. Most of the time, he delegated his work to us subordinates, although I doubt he even knew any of us by name. I shudder to think of the misery he's left in his wake. Hopefully, if Zhu Dan is innocent, we can at least right one of his wrongs. Yes, sir. Okay, and about the Justice Department? Of course, sir. This Justice Department is the beating heart of all law and order in Chang'an. Since the Emperor's dethronement, we have officers patrolling the cities at all times. Even the night watchman reported to us. This compound itself serves many purposes, but the East Wing, where we currently are, is home to the investigating branch. Directly behind you is the way towards the lockup, and behind me is a hallway that leads to the morgue. Oh, I almost forgot. I hope you found your private quarters to your liking. I asked my wife to help me make it as cozy as possible for you. I'm terrible at that kind of thing. Indeed, the room is quite lovely. Please say thank you to your wife for me. Okay. I've marked the victim's house on your map, but you'll probably want to speak to Zhu Dan and Coroner Yao before you head out there. I think I have what I need for now. Thank you, Lieutenant. I'm at your disposal, sir. Alright, let's do some investigating, right? Where is the evidence box? Is it here? That's to lock up, okay. That's the courtyard. Did he say the evidence box is behind him? Oh, who's this officer? Let's have a quick gander. He seems hard at work. I shouldn't disturb him. That's the evidence box. Is that it? I mean, how many cases have these guys cracked? Anyway, let's take a look. Lieutenant Ma said 3 items were collected at the crime scene. Let's have a look. Rose added to inventory, broken walking stick, and the footprint sketch. Okay. Impressive. Lieutenant Mao's wife was right. He does have an eye for illustration. Okay. This footprint is fairly average in size for a man, but probably a bit large for a woman. Okay. So we're not looking for a giant. What about the broken walking stick? It's a broken walking stick. Someone snapped it in half. Okay. And the rose? Strange. This rose should be wilting by now, yet its vibrant color and soft petals defy its age. If this didn't belong to Zhu Linfei, then the killer purposefully left it behind. Yeah, me thinks so too. Alright, what's with the weapons? I wish I could say I've mastered the martial arts, but alas, my rudimentary skills are barely serviceable. Not my weapon of choice. Okay, I guess we can't... Yeah, that won't really help us. Okay, should we head to the morgue? Let's head to the morgue. Coroner Yao, how you doing? He must be the coroner. From the looks of it, he has years of experience behind him. Excuse me. Blast these tiny tools, I lost count again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I've been trying to do an inventory of the equipment down here all morning, and I've been failing miserably at it. Why in the world do we have so many knives? You must be the coroner. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is D. Renjie. Ah, our new chief investigator. Just a young man, aren't you? I suppose that idiot Liu could do the job. They could just about send any half-wit to run this place, and probably nobody would notice the difference. I can see you're nobody's fool, but should you give me the opportunity, I may yet surprise you. You have a little spark in you, don't you? And you have earnest eyes, the look of a man with purpose. I suppose 30 years of staring at the dead has taught me that much. Then I look forward to learning from your experience. Well then, welcome to my office, Magistrate D. I am Yao Chinan. The youngsters just call me Old Yao. Stupid kids and their nicknames. I was hoping I could speak to you about the Zhu Linfei case. That poor girl. She's been moved for burial, so you won't find her here. But in all my years doing this job, I never saw anything like it. I've been instructed to reopen the investigation. May I ask you a few questions? Well, you're the boss, aren't you? Ask away. Tell us about yourself. I wish there was something to tell. I'm afraid my life isn't much more interesting than that of the patients I examine. But I suppose that's my own fault. Push away my loved ones long enough and you'll end up bitter and alone. Or in my case, withering away in the company of decomposing corpses. Surely a lifetime in service to the Imperial Court must bring you some satisfaction. It's precisely because of my choice to put duty above family that my grown daughter now wants nothing to do with me. When our mother passed away a few years ago, I buried myself in my work, thinking I could stuff my sorrows into the ground. I neglected the needs of my grieving daughter, and now, even as she puts her own path in the world, she can barely stand the sight of me. Don't make the same mistakes I did, young magistrate. Hold on to those you cherish. Let them know what they mean to you before it's too late. It's not too late for you. Speak to your daughter. She will listen. I wish I could be so naive as to believe that, but my time has passed. No matter. At least down here I can perhaps still make a difference. Okay, about the victim. What can you tell me about the victim's wounds and the cause of death? The cause of death was asphyxia by strangulation. Deep ligature marks around the neck suggest that the killer stood behind her and slightly above her. No murder weapon was found at the scene, but if I were to venture a guess, I'd say the killer likely used a long piece of cloth to strangle her. The victim also had a large laceration on the left side of her chest. Further examination revealed that her heart was surgically removed shortly after she died. Although I wouldn't go so far as saying that this killer possessed the skills of a surgeon, I am certain we are dealing with someone with a cold and steady hand. Someone who knew what they were doing. Why do you think the killer took her heart? It's hard to say. Perhaps he wanted a souvenir, or maybe he thought she was heartless and didn't deserve one, or possibly just because he's a deranged psychopath. We may never know why he did it, but based on the depths of the abrasions on her neck, I'd wager good money our killer is a man. Was the victim violated sexually? No, I found no evidence of sexual assault. In fact, she had no other bruises or injuries at all, which I found odd. What do you mean by that? Well, usually in cases of strangulation, we often find some signs of a struggle between the victim and the assailant. Signs such as traces of skin under the fingernails or bruises caused by resistance from the victim, but from what I can tell, Zhu Linfei did not fight back. Interesting. From your previous comments, I take it you and Magistrate Liu did not get along? 30 years I've worked at the Justice Department. Magistrates come and go, and I've seen them all. Some were born enforcers, others born negotiators. A rare few had the gift of deduction, while others preferred the path of least resistance. Liu Zetian was a category of his own, a corrupt yet inept man willing to do anything to advance his career. All of us here knew it, but none of us could prove it. What do you think he was guilty of? Abuse of power, coercion, blackmail, you name it. But someone more powerful than him finally took notice, and now he's history. We can thank the Empress for that. Thank you, I'll be on my way. You know where to find me. Okay, well, and the sort of tools and the pathologist's trade. Well, I mean, yeah, that was, quite useful. Oh, let's look at this medical chisel. Some sort of medical chisel. I'll rather not guess how it's used. Can we pick it up? I think we can. I can hear you snooping around back there. There is no time to play games. You can't just pick up whatever isn't nailed to the ground. I'm still doing my inventory. Unless you have a good reason to take that chisel, leave it alone. Oh. I mean, okay. Unused at the moment, thankfully. Anything else we can take here? Doesn't look like it. Oh, actually, can we show... Coroner... no, that probably won't work. Can we give him the rose? No. What about the broken walking stick? No? Okay. Well, I think we've done everything we can here. Let's go talk to Judan. Let's go talk to the old man. I mean, hang on. Lucky Ma doesn't want to say anything else, does he? Nope. Yeah, let's go talk to the old man. Is that him? Jeez, torture device. Some believe that torture can help reveal answers. But this... Can the so-called truth be held up to the light of day? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Who goes there? Is that you, Liu? You will not break me with your threats and beatings. I will never admit to killing my own daughter. Never, you hear me? Yeah, don't worry about it, buddy. We are... not Liu. Judan. The doubts surrounding his guilt are palpable. I must find out the truth. Calm yourself, Judan. I am Magistrate Renjie. Renjie? What happened to Liu? Mr. Liu has been relieved of his duties. I am in charge now. Ha! So they've replaced one crooked official with another. I'm not your enemy. Mr. Zhu, whatever you may think of my predecessor, I'm here to find out the truth about your daughter's murder. You mean, you'll investigate her case? Yes, Mr. Zhu, and although I do not yet know your involvement in this case, I can promise you this. If you are indeed innocent, you will not sit in this jail a day longer than necessary. I'm sorry for what I said before, but that man, Liu, he accused me of killing my own daughter. Despite everything that's happened in my life, I've never felt anger at my own fate. But what was done to Lin Fei, it burns me up inside, knowing that the man who hurt her is still out there. You have to help me, Magistrate D. My daughter deserves justice. Okay, well, we'll get to that. Let's tell us about yourself first. I was a patriot once. Not unlike you, I imagine. I fought and sacrificed for my country. I gave my youth to protect it on the battlefield. Now, I'm but a decrepit old man, disposable in the eyes of men like Liu Zetian. You were in the army? I was an Imperial soldier at the Tiger Regiment, until the accident changed everything. Tell me what happened. For the first time in a long time, I was home. They gave me a short break between tours of duty, and I was glad to be back with my wife and daughter. That morning, I'd taken Lin Fei for a walk in the park. She was only 5 years old. The sky was blue and pure. I remember looking upon the heavens, thankful and content. Out of nowhere, blackness billowed into the air. I didn't know how the fire started. All I know is that by the time we had made it our way back, the flames had already engulfed the entire house. But I was fearless back then. I ran inside, hoping to save my wife. But the gods were angry that day. They spared my life, but took my wife, and my eyes. Now, I look upon the sky no longer. And your daughter, she witnessed this? We've never spoken about that day. Deep down, I've always hoped that she was too young to remember. But sometimes, I could hear it in her voice, the horror of the flames and the ashes. Tell us about your daughter. After her mother died, I tried my best to take care of her. We managed for a while. The Imperial Army kept me around, gave me odd jobs here and there, but eventually they decided they had no use for a blind soldier anymore. But even as a teenager, Lin Fei was headstrong and rebellious. She stormed into the Imperial Army base, demanding an explanation for my discharge. I had to plead with my superiors to spare her any punishment. I told her we needed to accept our fate, but in that moment, I could feel something in her change. How did you carry on? For a year, we scrambled to get by. Those were the difficult times. Then one day, she came home with some money. said it was an advance from a family she had met. She said they offered her a job as a maidservant and wanted her to move into their house in the countryside. She was only 16. I didn't want her to go, but she made up her mind. Do you know who she worked for? No, she didn't say. She said they were very rich and didn't want people to know where they lived. Every month she would have someone deliver my money to me. It went on like that for almost 5 years. And then she came back? Yes, almost 2 months ago now. I remember it well because everyone was talking about Consort Wu's rise to the throne. But all I could think about was my daughter's return. She gave me no warning or explanation, but I didn't care. I was just happy to have her back. After your dismissal, what changed? Yeah, you said she changed. How so? She was always a strong and confident girl. Even during quieter moments, I could sense her calming presence. But then she became distant. Her silence had a different sound to it, if you know what I mean. She was no longer at peace. In about the last 2 months? 5 years is a long time. Did she seem different after her return? You have to understand, Magistrate D, she was away for almost 5 years. But to answer your question, yes, she was different. She was even stronger than I ever thought possible. Did she have any friends? No. Linfei always preferred to be alone. I think what happened to her mother. She chose the safety of her loneliness over the prospect of loss and pain. Okay. What can you tell us about the night of the murder? I remember it perfectly well. Earlier that evening, I decided to go to the waterfront to take some tea on the boardwalk. It's usually quiet at dusk, so I stay to enjoy the sunset. People ask how a blind man can appreciate such a thing. I tell them it's the heat. I can feel the sun's embrace slowly shift on my skin. Once the warmth is gone, I know it's time to leave. But something strange happened that day. I reached out for my walking stick, which I had placed on the table in front of me, but it wasn't there. I searched for it, even asked the tea house staff for help, but it was gone. You're certain you had it with you? Of course. Without it, I'd lose my way. I had to convince one of the waiters to escort me home, a nice young man with a kind voice. He said he could help me, but only after he finished his shift, so I waited. About an hour later, he came back and did as he promised. So the waiter took you home. Did he go into the house? No, we parted ways outside. I entered the house alone. But the silence inside bothered me immediately. As I approached the middle of the room, I could feel the wet surface under my feet. I was standing in my daughter's blood. I fell to my knees and extended my arms, reaching out to her. My heart sank when I felt her cold body. I cradled her head in my arms. I vaguely remember calling out for help. I don't know. The rest is hazy. Your daughter's murder was senseless and deeply unsettling. Heaven willing, justice will be done. You have a kind voice, Magistrate D, much like the young man who helped me get home that evening. Like him, I hope you will keep your word. That's all for now. We'll speak again soon. Thank you, Magistrate D. Okay, well, let's ask if the old man knows about this walking cane. Can we ask him that? This was found in your house after your daughter was murdered. It's my walking stick. How can this be? Why is it broken? I was hoping you could answer those questions. I'm not lying to you, Detective. I'm certain I had it with me that evening until it was stolen. Wait, could it be? Yes, that must be it. Don't you see? My daughter's killer must be the same person who took my walking stick. But why? Why would someone do that? I don't know, I'm trying to figure that out. What can you tell us about this rose? No. Footprint? No. I'm guessing the hammer won't help. Okay. Is he gonna say anything else to us? No. Alright, so he said all he's gonna say, so... I mean... I'm guessing... we go to the scene of the crime now. Yeah, okay, let's get out of here. let's get out of here and let's head up to the map. I mean, I think we're getting some. We're putting the pieces together. There we go, the victim's house. Alright, what do we see? A window. From this vantage point, I can see a large part of the interior of the house. A puddle. It's a large puddle of water. It's collected last evening's rain rather effectively. The soft dirt in the yard makes it easy to leave impressions on its surface. Yeah, that's how, Oh, footprints. Hello. These footprints are deep enough to have collected some rain and water inside of them. Someone must have stood here for a long period of time. Was someone spying on Zhu Linfei and her father? I mean, that's a reasonable assumption. The alleyway? Can we see anything? This is one of Chang'an's poorer neighborhoods. The people who live here are usually traders and artisans. Okay. I'm guessing we should check inside. Area of interest. Hello. The blood has dried, but the large gruesome stain that was left behind it an unsettling reminder of what took place here. Okay. Table. Dinner table. Curiously, the 2 dining chairs are placed nowhere near it. Yeah, that's interesting. This is where the murder took place. Examine the bloodstains. As expected, the posthumous removal of the victim's heart caused profuse bleeding. But there was no discernible pattern to any of it. What about the tip chair? A dining chair in the middle of the room? This chair must have been placed here for a purpose. Coroner Yao said that the killer was likely standing above and behind Zhu Linfei when she was strangled. Perhaps the killer forced her to sit there before he strangled her? But why would she cooperate? What's this? There's a small fragment of wood under the chair. Okay, well done. Examine the other chair. The dining chair is placed next to the bed, but why? Did the killer use it while he was waiting for her? According to the scene, the killer somehow managed to draw Zhu Linfei into the house and onto that center chair. It also appears as though he sat on the chair next to the bed while waiting for her arrival, no doubt further hinting at the threat that he posed to her father. But why are there no signs of a struggle? Why didn't she run or fight back? Because she knew the killer? A rolled up straw mat. This must be where Zhu Linfei slept. Nothing with the plant and the bed. Only one bed in the house. This must be where Zhu Dan sleeps. The candle, nothing there. Oh, cabinet. Contains ordinary personal belongings. Okay, and the window. You can see part of the front yard. Okay. What about around here? Ordinary kitchen utensils, nothing noteworthy here. More kitchen utensils? Yep, by the look of it. Okay. Okay. Does this... Let's look at it. It's a small fragment of wood. Could this be from the walking stick? It's a perfect fit. This fragment of wood must have splintered off when the walking stick was broken. This means the walking stick was broken in the house at the time of the murder. Reassembled walking stick added to inventory? Okay. But what now? Alright, well, certainly a lot of questions to ask here. Guys, we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we will be carrying on with this investigation. We have assembled the walking stick, we've got the footprint sketch, we have the rose, and we've got a hammer. Let's see where the next bit of clues will be found and what deductions we can kind of do here. But yeah, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.